G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, how you going? Today, I'm going to be digging a tree up from my own property. Well, it's a bit of a mystery tree. I'm not going to tell you till I get there. So I'm going to call it the mystery tree dig. And mainly I call it that because you don't generally see it used as bonsai. But I'll show you when we get there. I'll just show you the tools. I've got a folding saw here. For the damn thing bloody opens. Jesus, man. Got a kid's bloody safety thing on it. Right. Got the old gomboy. Not sure if I'm licensed to use this, but we'll see how we go. They're pretty sharp, I believe. Now, I can't even put it back in its pack. I don't think I'm licensed to use it. Anyway, that pair of snips, cut off some branches. Another cheap folding saw, cut the roots in the dirt. I don't want to wreck my expensive Japanese thing. You know, well, who knows? They're mass produced, so I think they're cheap anyway. And then I've got a pickaxe, digging around, just a baby one. The thing seriously is like a deadly weapon. So's a shovel. Jeez, man. Yeah, this shovel here is my piece of crap shovel because I couldn't find my good one. And it's just got a tack screw in there. It's pretty wobbly, so if this lasts a dig, well, I'll be bloody surprised, I tell you. Alright, yeah, see, can't even dig in the ground. Anyway, I got that and the tripod obviously where the camera's on. We're going to head down the block. This is my own property, so I've got plenty of time to dig apart from the bloody sun's going down. So I'll get down there and I'll show you this mystery tree. In the meantime, Adrian Eggleton sent me a new gift, another gift. That's the guy that does the turntables, awesome turntables. I'll show you that again in the shed, but I'm also going to be unboxing the new gift in the shed. And I'll do that, you know, after we dig the tree. Then we'll get in the shed, I'll unbox it, and then we'll do the potting up of the tree. Alright, let's go see this mystery tree. Cheers. I've been yabbering on that long that the kids are coming back on the motorbike. I wish I had enough room to carry some more stuff, but the kids stole the bike off me, so the beer will have to wait till later. So, just beautiful. See, here comes the dog. Motorbike's coming. He looks pretty stuffed. There they go. As you can see, the sun's not far from setting, so I've got about half an hour. Better hurry up. No worries, let's get out there. Okay, so we're just walking down. It's right down the bottom of the block, so I'm just walking. Good time of year at the moment, actually. There's some red rump grass parrots, I think they are, nesting in some trees. There's some galahs, woolly wagtails. I'll try and show you a nest of a woolly wagtail. I'll see if I can find one. Cheers. Okay, I don't want to waste too much time walking around rather than digging because it is about to get dark, but I've seen some woolly wagtails hanging around this tree here somewhere. Not sure where they normally nest, you know, whether they nest closer to the ground. You can see some fallen trees, some hollows. There's a nice hollow in there. Not sure. I've seen them in here somewhere. What's that? Oh, here we go. Single little birdie on his own. Bubba, what happened to your siblings, bunny? Did you kick them out the nest, or did they fall out? Or did a big bird come and eat one? Okay, Bubba. Okay, I better get out of here so that the mama can do its feeding. It's warm enough here. We had a 25-degree day that the chick's not cold, but anyway, I better get back to that tree. We'll let this guy go, let the mum turn up. Just have a quick look on the ground, see if we can see any of its siblings, you know. Might be able to rescue one and chuck it back in the nest, although I don't think that's the case. Pretty rare for there to be one. I'd say the other one's already carked it. Normally they have 2 or 3. Anyway, only one there, so I hope you're a lucky guy. I better get out of here. We'll let Mum get back to the nest. Well, good day. This is a mystery tree. I don't know if anyone recognises it. See how you go trying to guess. We've got a fair few of them out here. They're just weeds. And I will get rid of them, but in the meantime, you know, some birds are nesting in some of them, so I'm just leaving them for now, letting the birds nest, and then during the summer I'll clear a few out. But anyway, the mystery tree, if you haven't already guessed, is box thorn. It's a weed, spiky, extremely tough. You know, it takes over a fair bit of, you know, fair few properties if you let it get out of control. And I reckon I'd have probably 50 of them, 100 of them. Anyway, generally, I'll just come get the camera. Generally, these actually come with very straight trunks, straight up, and very sticky. As you can see, that branch there, just very straight, no shape. A lot of the branches in there, same thing, straight, no shape, nothing. And that's how, geez, that thing just spiked me already. I'm not looking forward to this. That's how they generally grow. But anyway, what happened is I had a look at this thing, and the thing looks alright. It's got a bit of movement to it. It's got a few straight trunks, but it's not bad. There's a bit of movement. I thought, well, you know what, for a box thorn, that's pretty good. Might dig it out, see if it survives. I don't expect to get many roots. Being a box thorn, I assume it's going to grow pretty easily. So there's a trunk there. Pretty hard to get a good picture of it at the moment. Sorry about these kids, are pretty loud in the background. Yeah, good day, mate. Yep, how you going? But anyway, that's them taking the dog for a walk. You can see there's another box thorn there. Anyway, back to the tree. Okay, so back to this tree. I'm going to cut the main branches off. Very hard to see the shape of it. You'll see that in the shed. So I'm going to cut main branches off. Hopefully I don't get too much blood. Going to end up a bit like a pin cushion. And we're going to see how we go. We'll just reset the time on this video because this could take a while. Okay, right, I think we're ready to go. Those kids are annoyed on the bike. They just keep, I got a whole block to ride around in. They keep riding around me, annoying me with their bloody noise of that bike. Here we are out in the wilderness. I gotta listen to a bloody bike and the bloody kids. Alright, let's get into it. So I've got the folding saw that I'm not licensed for, and we're going to have a go. I'm just going to get in there. It's going to be quite deadly. If anyone knows box thorns, terrible bloody things for poking you. Ah, jeez, it just fell on my head. Ah. I'm not really looking forward to this. I should have gloves on. Once I get in there, I'll be right. I really should have some gloves on or something. But you know, a tree like this is pretty unique because you don't see too many people with, just got myself in the leg. You don't see too many people with a box. God, this is not good. Just got myself in the hand with the box on. Like I was saying, you don't see too many people doing box on bonsai. Maybe it's because they're so bloody spiky, I don't know. Anyway, I'll chop it back. You'll see this stump is quite big. I'm not going to collect a lot of roots with it because I'm sure, like everything around here in the bush where it's dry, the roots are going to be a long way from the trunk. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure how hardy box thorns are as far as once you cut them back hard on their roots. I'm not sure. It'll be an experiment. I'm sure they'll probably be okay. In summer, these things actually, Jesus, man. I'm just plain getting angry now. It's so hard to work your way in this thing. Just thorns every bloody where. Little bit of blood, but not too bad. Some of the older wood you can grab it, but the younger stuff, just so full of thorns. Oh, now I've got a spike straight in my thumb. That's stuck in there. I'm going to have to let that get infected and get it out. That's a pain. It really hurt right in the end of the thumb. Right, that's it. I ain't playing nice guy no more, mate. I'm sorry, mate. You're coming out. Oh, that thumb really hurts. I think they actually have a mold. I've heard they have a mold toxin in their spikes, but I'm not sure. The boxthorn actually gets some really nice red berries. Not 100% sure what time of year. You probably would have some, but it didn't get any because this last summer was so dry here that even the boxthorn lost all its leaves. I'm not joking. If you didn't know any better, you would have said it was dead. That's what I mean, how tough they are. They're an evergreen, and it literally went dormant for most of the summer. Not an ounce of growth on it. So this is all new growth now after a fairly bad year for it. So I hope it survives because, well, one, I'm getting bloody poked like mad here. Two, it's got a nice base. But three, because it's only just recovering after a fairly bad summer, it may have depleted all its energy. We've really got to try and get this crap out of the way. Seriously, not good that. I know I'm being a bit of a gal here, but these things really do spike. We've got to get them right out the way so that I can dig around this boxthorn. Oh, Jesus. Alright, we're getting there. We're getting there. Bear with me, guys. Just check the time left. Alright, I'll just bring you in a bit closer because we're starting to get down to the business end. As you'll notice, don't have my old thongs on, or flip-flops as you American blokes call it, because I'd just be completely crazy if I did that. I have some sense about me. Oh, spiked in the hand. Very painful. I'll just show you. Bit of blood there. The old thumb's hurting pretty bad. Starting to throb nearly. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't want to wear thongs out here. You'd be bloody mad. Now the thing is too, dropping all these berries. Here's a few of the berries, I'll just show you. Oh, there's a bloody bull ant's nest as well. Got a bull ant's nest. There's a few of the berries I hope you can see from the old boxthorn bush. Most people will know what I'm talking about, some people might not. Alright, you get out of there. Not too happy about this bull ant's nest right next to it either. Yeah, certainly this place ain't giving up its bounty easily, I tell you. Alright, so we're going to get the little snips out for a second. I'm just not cutting it back too hard because I don't know what I will and won't keep, or how big I'm going to make this tree. I might end up with this up the apex up here. Obviously, you know, like there's a straight one in the middle here. That one will get cut back. But I'd like to do that in the shed when we've got a bit more time to analyse it. In the meantime, I'm just trying to get out before dark. So I'll cut back. I'll just cut back a few of the longer branches that are likely to poke me. Okay. Should have got gloves. I've just got to grab it really gently, and that way if I get spiked, hopefully it won't be too bad. And I've been spiked several times already. It's like going to war with a bougainvillea. You guys up in the Queensland area will know what I mean. Bougainvilleas, I'd say just as bad. Maybe not quite, but you know, you'd have people that argue that. I'd say just as bad. Okay, just cutting back some stuff. Stuff that I know is dead. It's likely to spike me, and it's getting cut off. Like I say, when it's down to a manageable size, we're going to dig it. Then we can analyse it a bit later. Yeah, not generally used for bonsai because you have generally really straight, boring trunks. I'll show you what I mean in the shed, but this one here is a very straight, boring one. And generally that's what the whole boxthorn will look like. You won't get this nice base, whereas this one has a nice base. And I've looked at a lot of them. I've looked at a lot of them around the property. And to be honest, this is the only one that I think looks nice. If it's still daylight on the way out, I'll show you a couple where it is straight, where it's straight base, so you can see, but it's pretty hard to find them this curvy. Anyway, let's dig it out with this crappy shovel. Thumb's going a bit numb where it stabbed me. The end of my thumb. You can't really see anything because the thorn's gone in there and blocked off. Thorn's gone in there and blocked it off so that it can't bleed. But in there, there's a bloody thorn straight in the end of my thumb. Throbbing a bit, but should be right. Toughen up, mate, toughen up. Right, I'll just scrape some of this these thorns and stuff away. I'm not going to go overly wide on this because I don't have a big enough container to put it in anyway. And I'm hoping that the box thorn's pretty strong, good survivor anyway. Alright, so it's pretty dry here, I can tell you that already. I can also tell you this shovel's very blunt. I don't know. I seriously don't know how I'm going to dig it actually. Extremely blunt shovel. I think what I'll do, give up on that idea. Go, so here we go. Just hammering through with my pickaxe, my deadly weapon. All sorts of shit here. There's rocks, ants, box thorn. I'm cutting some roots. I can see some getting cut. Just stabbing the back of the leg. Sorry about that. Alright, It's not budging yet. It's going to be a hard dig, I reckon. Okay, so I put it on hyperlapse for a bit because I thought it wasn't budging. I could be here for hours, but took a little bit more just on the side, literally, I don't know, another 5 minutes. And although I'm puffing a bit, it seems to be coming out okay. Just give it a bit of a wriggle. Get a bit of arm pump. It's nice to know you're alive sometimes. But I've wriggled it a bit. Trying not to poke myself here. Bastard. Bloody bastard. Oh, these spines. Alright, see if I can chop underneath. Doesn't look that good now. I've got under it here. Looks like it gets a bit narrow, but we'll see what happens. Gets narrower towards the taproot down there. Big taproot. Well, I thought it was nearly out. Apparently not. Another big root gone. Tell you what, if you want to dig trees quick, these things work pretty well. I've had this for years, probably since I started collecting trees. It served me really well. Okay. Okay. Now you might think I've been a bit brutal, which I have, but if you know about box thorns, you can understand why. You know, they're the curse of most people. Thankfully there's some good roots around the base where it's at its widest. And then you can see here it gets narrow underneath. Same on the other side, there's a narrow bit under here. So I'm hoping I'm going to cut that off. Drop these roots back a bit because there's no fibrous roots on there, and I'm going to hope that it reshoots. That's about it. I'm thankful that the ant's nest was about 1 metre away, so the ants haven't bothered me. I thought they might. Now I just got to carry this back up the hill. Cheers. We got her, the mystery tree. I'll catch you in the shed. Woo. Okay, so we're down here. Some sort of a rabbit or a fox warren down there. Hopefully nothing comes out. There's also snakes around here too, but it's getting a bit later. Hopefully they're gone to bed. As you can see, this is a normal big box thorn that I got. And you can see very straight trunks, no taper, very boring bases. Some more here. Very straight, two straight sections there. Other straight sections there. This is how it normally grows. Straight sections all there. And you can see it just sort of sprouts up everywhere. Very straight, boring sections. That's why I went to the effort to dig that one. Just because it didn't have the straight sections. Anyway, glad that ordeal was over. Just got to finish walking up the block. As you can see, this one here has a lot more movement about it. Some of these straight ones I'll have to cut out the way, but in general, no, it's got some movement about it. So we'll see how she goes. Well, good day. Welcome back. We're in the shed where it's a bit more civilised. Got me box thorn bush here, as you can see, and we'll get to that one in a minute. First, I just want to show you some real exciting news. Pretty excited about this. Adrian, who sent me the turntables, the nice bloke that he is, you know, these free turntables. And please, if you're on the fence about getting one of these, not quite sure, please get in contact with him. It'll help him out, make him feel better about giving me some free stuff, and it'll make me feel a bit less guilty, help my channel out as well. If you get some, I think they range from $50 for these small ones, which is bloody good price. 140 kilo, what do you call those turning things in the middle, whatever you call them. 140 kilo bearing. Big one, just bigger, same bearing. You can also put a board on there and make it bigger, so you can put a bigger pot on there and it's still plenty strong enough. I've sat on here and spat around for you before. I don't know whether I'll do it again. Why not? Alright, so I've sat on here before, I'll do it again. Show you how strong these things are. If you're thinking about getting one, even the small one you could spin on like this. Just spin around. You can see I'm 100 kilo, does it easy. Good way to test it out. Whew. Bit dizzy. Anyway, so that's that, you know, that good. So you're thinking about one, get one. I'll just show you his details. Spinning tree turntables from Adrian Eggleton. You can look him up on Facebook, Adrian Eggleton, or check out his Facebook spinning tree page that he's got, or you can get straight in contact with him with his phone number there, 041 232 8472. And you know, get on to them. They're bloody good. They last a lifetime. Stainless steel. Last an absolute lifetime. Never have to get another one again. Bargain. Anyway, so that's them. Now, what I was going to show you, what I'm really excited about. Hang on, I just got to get a drink for this one. Don't mind. I'll just pour a drink. Just in the background, pouring a drink. I just want to celebrate the occasion. So, Adrian, the nice lad that he is, sent me another gift. Pretty good bloke. There's a card of his, Spinning Tree Bonsai Turntables. Part of the Tweed River Bonsai Club, or Tweed Bonsai Club in Queensland. And as far as I know, a lot of people up there have bought turntables from him and they love them. So, all around a good bloke. And people that have bought them love them. I absolutely love mine. Anyway, so this is his new thing that he got for me. First time I've seen it, unwrapping it, it's pretty cool. Wow. It's got pure meat. Wow, mate, that's impressive. Thanks very much for that, Adrian. That's really impressive, mate. Looks good. So yeah, shoot him a message. Order up your turntable, or you might want to order up a sign. You've got a special sign that you want made. I'm sure he could probably do that too. With this. Just peel it off. The unveiling of the sign. Just amazing how the machine can cut it like this without really melting the plastic much. Somehow it must keep it fairly cool. Keep in mind, for him to do these stencils, he's got to, get the programmers to make up, draw up the design, and then he's got to put it on the computer and get them to stencil it out. So there's a fair bit of work involved. Look at that. That's just stunning. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Awesome. Cheers, man. Thanks very much. You're a great bloke. I'll be able to hang this up here behind me. Hopefully you can see it there. I'll just check camera. I'm sure you can. Yeah, look at that. That's bloody beauty, mate. Bloody beauty. Awesome, mate. Cheers. Hang on. Cheers. Really cool. Alright, let's get to this tree that we dug out from down the paddock. Alright, so we've got this box on. Just get this drink out the way, don't want to spill that. Right. Anyway, we've got this box on. And what I'm going to do, pretty much is cut the base off here somewhere. Cut out some of the straight branching. Decide where I want the front of the tree. And we'll design it from there. So I'll walk you through all of that, all the process. No point keeping the whole lot on now and then having to cut it back later. I'll get rid of what I don't want now and see what happens. Okay, so I'll go get the reciprocating saw. We'll make this job a bit easier and then we'll get to it. Cheers. Thanks again, mate. Look at that sign back there. That's bloody beauty. Okay, well, here we go. We've got the reciprocating saw. First thing I want to do, because it's got to fit into a shallow container later if it survives. And you want to do all this hard stuff now and cut it back hard now, because there's no point putting it in a big box now and then in 5 years time after it's survived and you're starting to shape the top, and then you have to pull it out and recut it and then it dies. You may as well do all the hard work now, and then if it survives, then it's all good. You know, you can just keep designing it and it's all good. And another thing on that too is I'm going to be putting it straight into some sort of bonsai pot straight away. It's a plastic one, but it's about the size of the root ball that I want to keep. I could possibly go a bit bigger than this. We'll see how we go. But the reason I do that, it's not because I think that it's a bonsai and it needs to be in a bonsai pot. It's far from being a bonsai. Just the fact that then, if it survives in here, you know that forever the thing's going to be alive. Whereas, like I say, you put it in a bigger pot and then try and reduce the root ball later, that's harder. And you might have gone to a lot of work and all that work could be in vain. So that's why I like to get it into a smaller pot straight away, develop it from there. One thing I will say for an exception to that is if you collect a tree where you don't think the base is big enough yet and you want to grow a bigger base, then I suggest either you leave it in the ground, dig it when it is big enough, or you dig it, take it home, put it back in the ground at your own house, and then grow it bigger and then collect it. Because what happens when you first collect them, they have a lot of energy stored in the trunk and all of that sort of stuff and in the roots. And you know, they're probably at its strongest, so it's probably the best time to cut it back really hard. After a few years in a bigger pot, if I was to put this in a bigger pot, although the tree recovers, it's never at the full strength it was when you first collected it. So it can then die from the shock of being cut back again only a few years later. So that's why generally you do it all straight away, unless you're going to put it back in the ground at your own house and dig it up 5 years later, or 3 years later, because if you put it in the ground at your own house, you know, the ground just really invigorates the tree and gets it pumping again. So that's why I like to go a bit smaller. This one I think is a bit too small. I do have another pot up there, I'll probably grab that one. It won't be in this one, this is an exaggeration, but I do like to get them in a smaller pot or a foam box, fruit and veg type box or something like that. Anyway, let's get to cutting the tree back. Okay, so, geez, that looks good up there, doesn't it? Bloody hell, it looks good. I can sit back and admire that one all day. Anyway, so the thing is, cutting off these roots, what I'll be aiming to do, you can see that there's a fat section here, where you've got this plane of roots, and then it thins out where the roots get thinner, and it has fairly big reverse taper. This is quite rare for a box thorn to have this nice big fat bit at the base like this, which is why I collected it. So what I'm going to be planning on doing, there's not many roots on the back, which is why I'm happy to lean it backwards like that. Normally you'd want to be careful because leaning it back would snap the roots, but there pretty much isn't many at the back. Or it could be the front, who knows, later on. So I'm just going to cut it on this root plane, and then that will allow it to be planted and all these radial roots will stay. And this big chunky one, which was a taproot, will go. It's not much good to the tree now anyway. As a taproot it probably was, it probably got moisture from down deep, but it's not much good to this bush type tree now. Alright, so let's cut through here. I've got a fairly aggressive blade on here, reciprocating saw. If you use too fine a blade, what will happen is the sap will clog it up and it won't cut very well. So let's see how we go, and I'll cut through here. I'll tell you what, if you don't have a reciprocating saw and you're planning on digging some bigger trees, I highly suggest that you get one. You can see even that's sapped up a little bit. Blade's fairly hot. And that's a big taproot. I'll just show you. That's a big taproot that we got rid of. Not a lot on it, as you can see. So that's the taproot gone. Let's chuck that on the ground. And what we're left with is this tree here like that. So that'll sit pretty easily in a pot. And we'll just try and work out what we want to keep and what we don't. I do got to be careful because these trees clump, like I said. So what's happened is this back one is actually clumped separate to the other trunk. And if you notice, I'll try to be careful, if you notice, there's actually a little bit of movement between the trunks. And I want to keep this trunk and that trunk, so I'm going to have to be really careful to do that. So I guess first just work out what I want to keep. And I'm pretty sure I want to keep this trunk. It's got some nice movement here, good roots on it. It could well be that this trunk here is the one that survives because it's got a lot of roots. The other one doesn't have a lot, so it could be that only this one trunk does survive. If that's the case, it's not a bad trunk to live. I'm going to cut this middle one out. You can see this middle one here, I think has to go. It's pretty ugly, there's not a lot on it, so I'm going to cut that one off. So we'll get to that. That's that one gone. You can see that's what most trunks normally look like, dead straight. Right, there's another one. I really like this curvy one here, and I'm thinking about keeping this leader up here. So I'll probably just cut back. Let's see if I can lock this in. Cut back up here. Cut that one back. I'm thinking about removing this one here. At least back to here where this one crosses. This is a pretty cool little trunk. A little bit of deadwood in the middle, alive on the end. So I'm thinking about cutting across here, so I'll do that. No, don't be too worried about if you make the wrong decision. There's plenty of branches to choose from. That's that straight branch gone. You can see these massive spikes on here. I'll just show you if you're not familiar with them. That's one spike. You can hear how springy it is. And that's what's sitting at the end of my thumb there. I'll have to wait for it to get infected and get it out once it's infected, or get some pawpaw ointment and try and draw it out. We'll see. So you can see that, this trunk, and we've got this trunk here. Got a straight one here. I'll get the little snips out and cut that. Don't want that. It's a little baby straight one. Don't want that. Cut off some of these dead ones at the bottom. Just check the time, see what the time's doing. It's amazing, you know, I always think I'll do a short video today, but it's bloody amazing. This bit's dead, so I'll cut that. It's bloody amazing how time gets away from me. And my short videos end up being long videos. Seems to happen all the time. I try to do some short ones. I mean, the truth is, I went to do a short one today. I'm like, oh, you know what I'll do? Nice, short, easy video. I'll go up and dig that tree that I've been thinking about in the backyard for a fair while. And I'll dig that. It won't take long. Quickly pot it up, be a very short, easy video. And then the unboxing happened, which is really cool. Not hating on that at all, that's awesome. But, you know, here we go, another big, long video. Dead one there. This one here's dead. A lot of this stuff on the inside is dead because what's happened is the shrub or tree or whatever has shaded itself out and killed it. What I'll do, this one's straight, I just want to cut that one back and then hopefully it'll shoot out from lower down. So we'll cut that. Okay, so we've cut that one off, so that might shoot from lower down and then it won't look quite so straight. We've got that branch there, these branches here. You could look at it there as the front, although I think around that side there somewhere would be pretty cool as the front. Because you'll have this trunk, you'll have this little one at the back, coming at the back. This has provided all this grows, you know. This could end up splitting apart from the back trunk because the back one doesn't actually have many roots at all. But we'll see what happens. See what survives. I thought it was all part of one trunk, but it's not really. Anyway. So yeah, pretty cool. So when all this grows, you're loving it. So I'll cut all these back a little bit. Nice sharp tool. Hopefully they start dividing a bit. I just cut them all back a bit shorter for so they divide a bit, and I guess once I've cut them back we'll see what sort of pot she fits in. There's no point going much bigger pot than what this root system will straight away fit in. Because like I say, once it recovers, if it recovers into a smaller pot at the beginning, you can then leave it in a smaller pot pretty much for the remainder of its life and it should be fine. So there's no real feeder roots, so I'm cutting back a lot of length here. There's a few feeder roots here. This is what you should be looking for feeder roots. Okay, if the whole lot looked like that in just out here, I would have kept it, but it doesn't. So I'll keep this one. It's a bit longer, but it's got some feeder roots. And that's about that, so pretty cool. That's a the old boxhorn. So I'll pot her up into the pot. I'll just see what it fits in. If it does fit in this one, I'll probably put it in this one. You know what? It's pretty close. Just a matter of getting rid of just 2 or 3 more of these big fat ones back a bit, which in the scheme of things won't make much difference. It'll either survive or it won't. There'll be a lot of people out there that say, oh, that's going to die, it'll probably die. You know what, you're probably right, it probably will die, but it's worth a chance. It's either that or I was going to put Roundup on it in the paddock anyway. So, you know, there's a fair chance it will die. You're probably right. But, having said that, most of the trees that I collect are deciduous trees or olives, and they can handle being cut back at least as hard as this, if not harder. So, you know, let's see whether this is going to be the same. Box thorns are pretty hardy, so we'll see. Okay, so now I've just got to decide on the front. I know it's going to look awkward with this branch coming at you, but I'm not about trying to be visually pleasing. I don't mind a bit of awkwardness. Or we could go there somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to pot it up, hope it survives. I'm pretty happy to keep that as the front there somewhere. Maybe around there like that. So that one will sort of go outside a bit. Then you have this front trunk, the back trunk, apex up here coming from the back trunk. This one will hopefully shoot out the side. And then we'll have this one at the back. So let's repot it like that. I'm pretty happy with how it is. I'll just cut still just a few more here, causing a bit of grief. And like I say, if it dies, not that much loss, you know. Couple hours work, and that's it. You know, if you were to, you could easily spend, you put it in a bigger pot, collected as many roots as possible, collected it all safely, then spent the next 4 years training it, try to really be careful, and then you want to cut it back and put it in a smaller pot, then you might lose it and you might have done 100 hours on the tree. Here we've only done 2 hours. If it dies, that's it. Go find a different one. And like I say, it's only a box thorn. No one's going to lose any sleep over a box thorn dying. Right, let's get some soil and repot it. Cheers. Okay, so I'm going to do the same as I would a normal bonsai. Put a bit of soil in the bottom. Just a Aussie Bonsai mix. And I'm going to chuck the tree in. Try and plant it on an angle that I think looks good, because, you know, once this fills the whole container full of roots, it'll be hard to change it to a different angle, because you'll be cutting off a lot of roots on the opposing corners. So you do want to sort of Jesus, this thing's bad for bloody poking the crap out of you. Anyway, so you do want to try and sort of half choose where you want the front. I'm happy to have it about there somewhere. And I just want to fill in the rest. Go around the tree. Because there's not many roots, you don't really need to work it in too much. It sort of falls in the big gaps that there is anyway. Now you just want to protect it from the wind a little bit, so it doesn't blow over and blow out the pot, because there's not many roots. And it will be fairly top heavy, but it should be alright because there's no leaves to catch wind. We'll see how we go. I'm going to well and truly cover the roots to make sure that what is remaining doesn't dry out. And just hope for the best. Something like an olive, where they store all their energy in the trunk, they would easily survive from this. You can even cut completely everything off, so there's no roots at all. Flat cut the bottom and they survive fine. These ones here, I'm not too sure. Being a fairly brittle, straight sort of sticky wood, I'm not too sure that it will have a lot of energy in its back vascular system, but we'll see. I mean, it does shoot back after a summer of no leaf, so it must have stored energy somewhere, whether that was in the roots or the trunk, who knows. And I did let the leaves, I purposely left the leaves on once they shot out for, I didn't dig it straight away, even though I wanted to dig it in summer. I left it for the whole of winter with leaves on, so it could recoup some of the energy that it lost over last summer. So hopefully it'll be a little bit more adapt to trying to survive this sort of collection period. We'll see. Like I say, if it doesn't, no big loss. Alright, no worries, so that's done. And this is going to seem a bit silly, but I actually put moss even on these trees. One, it keeps the weeds down, and two, like I've said before, it increases the usable space of the roots and keeps them a bit cooler on the hot days, and hopefully it'll give it more chance of survival. And I'll probably go and get some sea salt and put some sea salt on this. I won't fertilise it. There'll be no fertilising. Sea salt is not a fertiliser, it's just like a tonic. Good for, you know, good bacteria and fungi in the roots. So I'll just go and get the moss and we'll moss it up, water it in, and then that'll be it for the video. Cheers. G'day, welcome back. Well, got the moss. I collected this moss when I had a chance about a week ago. And the beauty about where I live now is I don't get all those bloody pesky blackbirds anymore. I don't know why, but they don't come out here, touch wood. And as a result, I've got no worries about moss. All my trees now I can put moss on and they don't bother it at all. And also I can leave it on this flat tray. I'll just collect it whenever I get a chance, leave it on this flat tray, and I can come back to it 2 weeks later without looking at it, and the moss is still there undisturbed. Those blackbirds, you know, if you get them, it's nearly impossible to have moss on your trees. If you look back at some earlier videos, I used to put some netting on there and all sorts of stuff. The netting does help, but then I found, because I had the netting on there, it made weeding so hard. I got lazy and then ended up too many weeds in the tree. So I couldn't win either way. So anyway, there's some really cool lichen on this box thorn as well. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, so I'm going to moss it. I'm not going to use the good moss. I'll probably leave this nice lichen. You can see this lichen. I'll leave that for a nice deserving tree. Sorry, Mr. Boxthorn, but you're not really deserving enough, mate. If you pull through and become a nice tree one day, well, who knows? Maybe I will give you some nice lichen moss. Hey, you just got to survive for me, bud. Right. So we'll just put some of the more boring moss. I'll put a little bit of interesting moss, a bit of green. And this here just, you know, like I say, it gives it more area to produce roots and keeps the heat off it during summer. And hopefully will help aid in the process of the tree recovering. If you can call a boxthorn a tree, I don't know, a tree, a shrub. I'd say, I guess a shrub really. I'm sure somewhere in the world they're a protected native tree. I got a fair few of them in the paddock, like I say, probably 100 of them, but I want to get rid of them, but the birds love them. The birds nest in them, and it actually is really good for wildlife. So part of me is tempted just to leave the ones that are there and just kill any new ones that come up. because those birds, they're used to going down there and nesting in the same spot. I know they're a weedy pest, but those birds are used to nesting in that spot and eating the berries when the berries come. There's plenty of birds that love eating the berries, and you know, I sort of half feel like I take their food source away if I get rid of these things, but I know they are a pest, and you certainly don't want to let your place get overrun by them. At my parents' house, my old man's a bit slack. Sorry if you watch this video, old man, but you're a bit slack and you let your box thorns get out of control. He'll clean them all up, they'll all be gone. And then 5 years later he's got twice as many as he had earlier because he spread the seed everywhere. And now he's got a real right mess. He's just got half a paddock full of them. And they're quite big now too. I don't quite want to end up that bad, but I'm happy to leave a few in some of the corners where it doesn't really bother me. Anyway, after all that rambling on, we're done here. We're all mossed up. Still got plenty of moss here. As you can see, it gets watered with the bonsai, so I don't have to worry about it. Blackbirds don't worry because we don't have any. Which is a bloody bonus, I tell you. One good thing about living out of town, the blackbirds don't like coming out of town. It must be a civilised bird. Alright, enough of crapping on. Got the moss there, I'll get rid of the moss, I'll put it on the turntable from Adrian and we'll do a last spin and that'll be it. Cheers. Okay, turntable from Adrian again. And thanks again, Adrian, for the Aussie Bonsai Bloke sign there with the tree cut into it, the bonsai tree. It's so cool. Really, really happy with that. I'll have to mount it here somewhere just to show you his details again in case you missed it. You know, please help him out. Buy a bit off him. Certainly done right by me. And I wouldn't be vouching for these things if they were no good. You've seen me spin on them a couple of times now. Strong as. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get this on here. Yeah, he's very good at what he does, that bloke. Right, so we've got it on there. Let's give it a bit of a spin. Get in a bit closer. Okay, cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe, and mainly just cheers for watching, and I'll give you a spin of the tree on the way out. Cheers.